Hey, welcome back. This is the Prophet again, and today we're talking about otter. Otter is something you feel deep down inside of yourself, and nobody can take away otter from you except for yourself. Remember that. We're going to come back to that later. Otter has been practiced in the Japanese culture for many, many, many years. The Japanese obviously invented it with Confucius in the most honorable city in the world, Hangzhou. And it has carried on today in Japanese culture and has branched off into some European cultures and thusly America. Originally in Japan, there were no laws, and criminals just ran rampant, being very cheap. The samurai and their leader Confucius wanted to create a sort of code. You may have heard of a code of honor. That's where this originally began. And it was basically just a set of ethics and laws that started to govern Japan, and it dictated many of the ways of life that we've seen come into European countries and American countries. It stopped a lot of the cheapness. Now, I say otter is a feeling deep down inside, which is true, but otter can also be tangible. Sometimes late at night, if you've had a very honorable day, you can reach out and touch your own otter. It builds up throughout the day, and the more honorable you are, the more it builds and emits from your body, and you can reach out and feel it. It's almost like an energy, like a soft water. Now you may be wondering or asking yourself, how can I become more honorable? What's an easy step to just become closer to the way of honor? And a nice thing I like to give beginners in the way of honor is a list of words they can start using in day-to-day conversations, and that's just going to get you one step closer to being honorable. To start off, we got some words like fist. It's great because in Japanese, fist means without weapon, and weapons are very cheap, and actually they're very frowned upon in the honor community. Please is another one of my favorites. You can't go one day without saying please. If you do, you're scum. You guys, every time you ask for something, please. A little bow never hurts, but please is just a great way to up your honor factor 12-fold. Thank you or thanks goes a long way. When people do a favor for you, or even just hand you a cold soda, or your favorite Dr. Pepper, you want to say thank you. It doesn't hurt not to, but it's less honorable to say nothing. It's going to make them feel better. You're going to brighten your own spirits. And every little thing counts. Remember earlier when I said late at night, you get to reclaim your honor of the day? If there's not much there, you're not going to be able to grasp it. So every please and thank you counts. And the final word I'm going to give you today is a very simple one. You probably use it more than any other word in the English language, and that is yes. A simple yes can open up so many opportunities in your life. You got to be sure you're using it in the right situations. I'm going to give you a couple examples of when not to use yes and when to use yes, just so you get an idea of when it's honorable and when it's not. So here's the situation. You're walking down the street. A guy comes out of a dark alley, and he says, "Hey man, you want to shoot up my weed?" And then, of course, you're thinking, Prophet told me to say yes. So you want to say yes, but no, no, no. This is an opportunity you want to say the word no, which can be very honorable. You just don't want to be caught up in drugs. Drugs are extremely dishonorable. I just want to leave you with that now. Altering your mind in any way, alcohol, drugs, it's one of the most dishonorable things you can do. You want to be present and ready for anything, ever. If I was drunk, I would have just fallen on my ass just doing that right now, or high. So stay away from drugs at all costs. And a great example of when you should say yes, say you're at home, you're playing video games, and your mom asks you to get up and do some chores or do some laundry, immediately say yes. Do not hesitate, do not loaf around, do not ask her to do the chores later. Yes is the only honorable answer in that situation. Yes, mama. And then you go and you do your chores, and then you can come back and do your video games later. It's that simple. Fighting with a weapon is one of the most dishonorable things you can do in life. It takes away power from your opponent. It makes the match completely cheap and unfair. And just think of any weapon, a sword. You can't block that with any moves. You could, sure, I could get out of the way. I could grab their sword, take it, disarm them, but it already puts you at a disadvantage, and putting somebody at a disadvantage in a fight is very dishonorable. If you notice, Confucius never used a weapon, ever in his life. I don't know if you've ever noticed that looking back, but he tried to warn the samurai of dishonor being brought onto their families by using weapons. I think the samurai had a case against that only because it was the early days of honor and there were many people running around with weapons, so the samurai had to use weapons to defend themselves. So I would go ahead and excuse them from that. But in any other case, a weapon, dishonor. Chad, this segment goes out to you. I've noticed you bullying me on quite a few comments, and whether it's cyberbullying or bullying IRL, it's dishonorable. I wanted to clear something up here, and that's the correct way to spell honor. There's only one honorable way to spell honor, and that's without a U. Anybody who spells it with a U is disgracing the word. It's disgracing the feeling and the history of honor, and really you're just doing a disservice to yourself and to the world. So if you're watching in England, just start spelling it without a U. I know it's probably a habit for you now, but you'll become more honorable, you'll spread the good word, and maybe someday you'll be as honorable as me. I just want to thank everybody for watching, taking the time to watch this video. It's very important to me to spread the word of honor across the land, and I really hope you can take something away from this, maybe share with your friends and family, and make the world more honorable. As always, stay honorable and just get better.